What's up, guys? I want to do this video today to kind of answer a question. And that question is Spyderco worth the price? The reason I'm doing this video is I've got a really good friend of mine. He's a good, hard-working, blue-collar guy. And the very first Spyderco I ever handled actually belonged to him. However, I recently found out that it was gifted to him. Upon having a conversation with him about pocket knives and the quality of knives and what knives cost, he raised the question of whether or not they were worth the selling price. There's really no answer to that because it's going to be different in every situation for every person. Now, if you ask my opinion, are they worth the selling price? I'm going to say yes. The reason they're worth the selling price to me is because I view knives as cutting tools. Technically, I only need one or two cutting tools. As you can see here, I've got 6 Spydercos. I don't need that many. I own that many because I'm a big fan of Spyderco, because I'm a big fan of well heat-treated steel. I'm not a huge... it's not that I'm not a fan of action or fidgetability. They just don't matter that much to me. What matters to me is a good quality steel with a good heat treat that's going to hold an edge a good long time. If you're taking that into consideration, then I say absolutely yes, Spyderco are worth the money. And everybody says that Spydercos all look the same. That's ridiculous. They all have a hole in them because that is Spyderco's patented opening method. But for somebody to think that this knife and this knife look the same, that's pretty ignorant. I mean, they don't look the same at all. But so I'm going to say, yeah, Spyderco is worth the money. And as a collector or a knife addict or whatever it is you want to call yourself, I believe that's even more true because of the outrageous number of models you can choose from, the different blade steels you can choose from, the different handle materials you can choose from. All that put together is why Spyderco is my favorite large production knife maker. There's some great ones out there. I love Benchmade, I love Hogue, I love ProTech. There's others, but Spyderco is my favorite for those very reasons. If you came up to me and asked me, I only want to buy one pocket knife and I want to carry it the rest of my life, and I'm going to use it until there's nothing left, like my dad did his Buck 110, I would tell you to buy a Spyderco. It's probably all the knife you're ever going to need. It's, people complain about some of these super steels being hard to sharpen. Guys, there's no such thing as a hard to sharpen super steel. By hard, I think what you guys mean is it takes a little more time. With a good diamond sharpening system, it may take a few extra minutes to remove the steel that it takes to get a super steel knife sharp. But that doesn't mean that it's any harder. You don't have to bear down any harder. You don't have to run a marathon before you start. There's nothing hard about it. It's just a little more time consuming. However, is it worth it because you don't have to do it as often? I don't know. That would be an interesting test to see, how often I have to sharpen my M4 blade steel versus how often I have to sharpen my LC200N, and how long does it take for each. Maybe I'll look into that someday. But anyway, I just wanted to answer that question for him, and for myself, because it's really up to you. It's what you want to spend on a knife, what you expect out of a knife, and that's going to be the deciding factor of whether or not Spyderco is worth the money. So that's all I got for you guys today. You guys know I appreciate any amount of time y'all spend with me. Peace. Love y'all.